I don't dare to be charismatic. This is kind of a niche emotion and fear. I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced this, but a long while back, I'm always afraid of acting out what I want to do, the good things that I want to do. I wanted to be charismatic. I wanted to be a gentleman. I wanted to be confident. I wanted to make certain jokes that may offend people, but because of, feminized media and all this, I don't really know the exact reason, but I was always afraid of being charismatic. I was afraid of being respectful. I mean, like all other little boys, I think I wanted to be the cool one. I wanted to be the selfless one, the charismatic one. I wanted to offer my service, be a gentleman, help girls out with carrying things. I wanted to be masculine, and I wanted to show off my masculinity, but I was still afraid. And given that I was also a very chubby boy back in those days, I think I lacked the confidence to act out how I wish to be perceived, because it would just feel like I'm behaving out of character. And I think a lot of people also are very familiar with the fact that they're too afraid to change when somebody knows them already. They're too afraid to change a part of them or act differently or start practicing some new philosophy of life, because they're afraid that people expect the old version of them, and then they could garner unnecessary attention when they behave a different way than usual. And because of this, many teens are afraid of making changes, which, if you think about it from like a third person's perspective, is absolutely pointless and it limits you in so many ways. We shouldn't be afraid to change just because somebody expects a certain way of us. And I think we need to lower our guard, be less defensive, and be less afraid of people noticing changes in you. It is scary because change means you're risking being rejected by the environment. And I think that that's the that's the most common reason why we are afraid to show off our changes, and why we are afraid to do deliberate acts that can put us out there. Like being more vocal is terrifying, offering service more is terrifying, being a gentleman is terrifying, because other guys will be like, oh, he just wants to woo the girl, they will attack your intention. And even if that's your intention, like really think about it, is it really that bad? It's really scary to look deliberate, giving deliberate attention, showing deliberate interest, being straightforward. It's terrifying. People can judge you for that, and you know exactly what they're thinking. They may not call you out for it, but you know that they'll harbor some feelings about your intentions, some assumptions about what you want, and for some reason that's threatening, to me at least. I mean, now not anymore. I never dared to be kind to girls. I never dared to insult someone that I felt was cooler than me, like higher up in the social hierarchy. Thought that was kind of scary. I didn't dare to put myself out there and do good, because people would just assume my intention would be to gain attention or feel important, or to selfishly increase my perceived value. If that was the reason for my fear, that would mean a large part of me probably thinks the same of other people, or some essence of me has those intentions and I feel guilty about them. I don't feel like they are socially acceptable. What I've learned is that the intention really ceases to matter after a while, and what really matters is the actual act, the reevaluated action that you actually provide, and the value that you genuinely give to others. At the end of the day, bad intentions but good actions are generally good, unless those bad intentions accumulate and then you become resentful. Then ultimately that is not desirable. Your intention could be flawed. People could call you out on that, and that's okay. All that matters is that you've made the right choice, and it doesn't matter who you are underneath. It's what you do that defines you, not stolen from anywhere.
Oi, what the fuck?
Most acts of service is self-gratification. That sacrifice that you take pride in. It's punishing yourself because of like some trauma traits or self-satisfaction, self-verification, or maybe some part of you thinks you deserve it when you sacrifice yourself. The truth is, good selfless deeds never seem to stem from good intentions and good origins. It gives being good meaning, so people are encouraged to give, and that's what makes the world a beautiful place. Do as you wish consciously. No one has lived in the same context you have. Don't let people blinded by habitual promotion of virtuousness and selflessness tell you what's wrong and right. Act on your own ideals. Do as you see fit. Listen to suggestion, but at the end of the day, do what you want. you should trust that you are the best person to make decisions in your context, because everyone's context is unique, and many times decisions are not a one-fits-all solution. Show you care, show you worry, show that you're afraid. Don't fear being vulnerable. It's not too late. Besides, what is there to threaten you when you have abandoned the fear of being vulnerable, of putting yourself in weak situations, of being transparent with your emotions, of not being afraid to hurt your friends' emotions, because secretly you fear their rejection of you. That's why you don't want to hurt their emotions. But imagine not being afraid of that anymore. True strength, to me, comes from abandoning your fear of being vulnerable. Own the world around you and become the person you wish to be. To better world.